before, or if you're just tuning in right now, there's just a couple of things I wanted to talk about the market, and I thought it would be nice to talk about it in a way where we're not just I have the chart behind me. Sometimes it's just nice to talk to the group and not have to have a chart in front of me. I know maybe, my own fault, obviously, because of the way I like to do things, but I do things a little bit unique. And I put the charts and everything right out in front of you for a reason because I want you to be able to make your own decisions. But at the same time, sometimes what gets lost in it is that personal feel with us just talking. And I forget to do stuff like this, so to say. So I do thank everybody who's going to tune in. If you're watching this now or after, I really appreciate it. Ironically, with what the market's doing, as we ended the live, it was starting to play down in the direction where we're like, if this bear flag plays out and we start breaking down, it's going to be interesting. And we can still talk about obviously what's happening, but there's a key point I want to hit on, and I made it in the title for this live, so maybe it would get a different perspective from some who are going to join this live, and maybe somebody who wouldn't have clicked on this actually comes in here because of the perspective we can talk about real quick. So first, it is, let's see, Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 12:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I'd like to do here real quick is I would like to just talk about not only the crypto market, not only the pricing and things like that, but has the psychology from a standpoint of the trader, has it flipped? Has it now flipped? Because just 6 short months ago, if you told somebody XRP was going to be at $1.58, especially the FOMOers, they would have said, I'm going to spend my last dollar on it. Now, one of two things have happened. One, they spent their last dollar buying the dip before it even got to these ranges. Or two, they're so beaten down that they're starting to take large amounts of money off of the exchange, and they're going into what they're starting to see. If they want to be a trader, they're looking at silver saying, I can't believe that I did all of this when all I had to do was put my money in silver and it would have been a game changer. So some people end up looking at it from that perspective. So the other part of this is, and the real big part that we have to acknowledge, is that consumer confidence, for good reason, should be lost. You have a lot of players in this space that are doing one thing, but they're saying one thing, doing another kind of thing, especially the ones in charge. So, it makes it to where we definitely have to think about it from a psychology standpoint. What's really going on with the actual trader? Like, what's going here? I think I'd turn it like this would be a little bit better. I think I noticed that when it started. Trying to get the feel here because it's different than my YouTube live. I can actually show more of me, which is nice. But that's the biggest thing that I keep thinking about. Is the retail trader now not just getting phased out? Are they done? Are they done? Are they done? Do they not want any more part of this? And you guys can try to answer that for me. Okay, let's see which way's better. I'm trying to give the full scale of how I'm sitting and stuff. That's probably better. But what's your representation of this? I kind of want it to be like, hey, you see me just sitting here in a meeting kind of thing, Let me, gotta move this. All right, much better. Much better, and I can sit there. But let's see, I'm one of those, and I'm done, Mr. Stott. Yep. And I told the community earlier that, I actually took off what percentage is it? I'd say about 20%. No, that's not right. About 15% of what I had sitting in money after liquidations after liquidating the portfolio on Kraken for these drops, and then I was attempting to swing trades back and forth, but it's not worth it right now. I don't like to be a trader. I like to be an investor. So when people ask me what are you? Are you a trader? I like to be an investor. which means that I got to find the right time in the market typically. I'm not opposed to a swing trade, but I don't like that mindset. So, from my own psychology, I know I like to be an investor because I like to watch something build. And when it gets to the right time, I like to be the person who builds into something and it gets to play out. When I get disappointed is like when XRP actually went up to 370 and I had to do something, or 360. Or when some of the other things like my mining stocks went so far up that I actually had to do something. You know, I don't like the time when I have to get rid of things. I like the times when, I can build in. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. So, and then my son's toy, ironically, taught me a very important message too for all of us. Just listen to this. Don't you realize the time has come for us to join forces? Think about it. It goes on from there. Together, we control the quadrant and earn our galaxy. So basically what Emperor Zurg is telling me is that if we come together with the sound minds, emotionless, and we are on the same team and we're not enemies, we're not in the divide and conquer, we just are on one same path, we can rule the next chapter in finance. His quadrant, his galaxy. We can not only take over crypto or for the trading world, but we can actually be on the next level. So Emperor Zurg has done a fantastic job. And if you don't know who Emperor Zurg is, it's this guy. He's Buzz Lightyear's enemy. And what he's trying to say is if you're not liquidated or if you're not paying attention to this market and you're just a long holder, you're going to end up being exit liquidity, to the big banks and things like that. And some people are like, should I sell? Well, guys, it's like 60% down at this point on a lot of things, 90% on others. That's got to be a personal decision between you and your soul. I'm not a financial advisor, but we also can't stay in the way. And what's the last thing he says? Oh, I see how it is. See? And that just means he's saying if you take the mindset of, it's about you can stay in it forever and you don't believe in the philosophy of technical analysis. See, you can stay in the markets for a very long time, but here's the deal. You have to time the market to get the timing in the market that we desire. Oh, and somebody's going to ask me to flex, so I'm just going to get out of the way. See, I'm not joking. I actually do work out. I did my workout today. think we're going in a good direction. But I don't know how it comes across on here. But we're building. We're building. It's hard to show from here. It's always nice to lighten it up a little bit, isn't it? So, but anyhow, let's see what everybody's saying. I had a delusional hope that it wasn't topping and now stuck holding my bag, pulling the dollar cost average down, or down some of my high entry points. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. I'm not effing with you anymore, Tommy. Yeah, it's been I definitely got into a lot better shape. I don't know how it comes across on here because I'm sitting here with as my gut hanging out and all that because I don't care. But I'm proud of what I've done over the last couple of years. There's no doubt about that. But anyhow, as far as the psychology too, now think about it this way. If you're a retail investor, and let's just say you were living at home, or you just got out of college, or you finally got to a point where you have expendable cash, maybe you're married or single, or you finally figured it out, maybe you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, it doesn't matter. What if the people that are trying to do that, they don't know anything about metals or real money and things like that. And they're like, okay, crypto, what I've been told, and they're listening to the government that this is the way, right? This is the way. This is the way for the next frontier. This is the way for me to invest, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't even know about mutual funds or try to play it the safe way. This is another thing that I really need to teach people, and I'm going to have to somehow add this into the classes at some point. But the growth, value, emerging markets, those kind of stocks, the growth and value, I don't care about the other ones, I don't have any growth and value in my fund, but I'm thinking of one because I rotated out of two. It's a long story, but the emerging markets has been my play, and it's been crushing it. Like you're looking for 7% minimum year over year, and 12% you're kicking the crap out of it, because then you can double every like 7 years or so, 6 years, and that's really what you're trying to do is double that every six. Just think about that. But the emerging markets, the one that I've had public for everybody, I actually did 41% year over year. 41%. They did remarkably well on average. Oh no, on average it was 36% because I had one that only did 12%, so I rotated it out. I haven't bought anything with it yet. But and then one of them I bought this year. I'm like, nope, I don't want the third Fidelity one. That's the weaker of the three movers, and it has the lowest history. So I'm going somewhere else with that. What are some of the comments? Speedo time, that would be OnlyFans. You know, being an XRP investor, there's only a couple of options we have, folks. One, I'll have to be XRP future pizza man. Two, I'm gonna have to open an OnlyFans page. Or three, we better hope to God that Facebook channel in my classes pan out. No, it's just a joke. It's so funny when you can just joke around and not care. But in a good way. You look awesome. Thank you, Frankie Fresh. And tell Janine if you're out there, I love you guys. I appreciate you, Janine. I'm glad. You always say you can't see my face enough, Janine. At least now you can see me. Mr. Stott, timing V's, time is simplified. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Mrs. Stott said you look great and fit. Thank you so much, Mrs. Stott. I appreciate that. Tom, what are the emerging markets? Okay, so the best way I always say the emerging markets is if you want to bet against the US dollar, just look for emerging markets. But it's a little deeper than that. So basically, you're investing in an asset fund like Vanguard, who's going to invest in other stock markets or other stocks or investments around the world in different countries. China, they hit a lot of Japan, the Asian markets, a lot, and they hit some of those stocks on other markets, and they tap into the growth that it's going to have. So basically, we have the tariffs. The tariffs are 100% helping the emerging markets, because now instead of them exporting to us, they get to keep the products at home, which by virtue that's going to keep the it's going to keep the pricing going up in their own countries. But hey, this is an incent. There's no, this is to get the bad juju. Hoo ha, hoo ha. That reminds me of Johnny Bravo. Hoo ha. Oh man, now this, I had it perfectly so it would not spill over. Well, anything for the show, right? Whatever. We'll just have to live with it. What do you have to say about that, Zerg? Fair enough. It's not other countries, it's just one big worldwide government working together. That's fair enough, too. I never heard of XDC. I'll check Coinbase. You recommend or think it's a decent idea to invest in coin? Oh, are you talking me, Smack? About XD? Absolutely. That's like the most undervalued project. When the time is right, when we finally reverse, that's going to be one of the projects that. So, in my opinion, you have the 3 X's and then a ha. So, XRP, XLM, XDC. That's the triple X strategy in itself. XRP is for the banks, and it connects all the interbanking stuff and the bigger stuff. And this is just the easiest way I can break it down. XLM is for the people. It's the people's. That's for smaller businesses, it's just the people side of things. And then you got the trade side of things. And you're talking about TradeFi and the digital trading setup and so much more with XDC. I could argue that XDC is the better of the 3, depending on price. Because XRP runs the freaking show. And that's just the way it goes. So you're not going to have any expansion in XDC if you don't have XRP running the show. So, as much as I love XDC, especially where the price is going to end up, I still know who runs the show, and that's what got me in the game. See, a lot of people, what they end up doing when they get into the game is that they all of a sudden they lose their philosophy and then they just start to do the Johnny come lately stuff, which I don't think XDC is. This thing keeps falling over and it's on the microphone, so I have to set it a certain way because this thing is very flimsy. What if I do it like that? That's gonna make it worse because now it's sliding. But I have to have it set up a certain way for when I have it over here in the horizontal or when I flip it. And now it's like fighting with it because it keeps sliding. I know you guys can see it. How annoying. I'm a perfectionist, damn it. Now I gotta have this thing sliding on me. What are you gonna do? Slide away. Yeah, XDC is absolutely on Kraken, believe it or not. And the fees aren't bad, but I'm telling you right now, like, don't just because something's good, don't just jump into it head first. Like right now, not looking good. I talked about it when we were in the live. I said, just don't do anything. Just sit back, relax, let it play. We're in bear flags here. Like, and on XDC, we showed the head and shoulders. Just let it go. Let it play. And I'm not a financial advisor, but damn it, don't lose all your money with all this crap. Oh my God, now Bitcoin's at 75K. We talked, oh boy. Now we're getting in the dicey area. If XRP breaks down, let's see. Oh, we're getting close. Oh, basically at this point, we're so close that we're being teabagged with a big drop right now. To $1.41. And I'd say that very lightly and mildly, my friends. You guys are going to get so sick just from watching. You're going to get seasick from me moving around. Unfortunately. But here we go. That's what we were trying to warn about in the last live. $1.5630. $1.5630. If it breaks down out of there, you got a big bear flag that's breaking down. And we said $1.41 in the live, but because of how fast it's coming down through it, if it came down at this exact time, oh yeah, it's a much worse target than $1.4130. It's actually $1.4039. But no, we're targeting $1.41. $1.41. Basically, I keep moving this to represent the crypto market. The crypto market is very fragile, folks. Very fragile. No, I'm just kidding. Abandoned ship. But yeah, it's a bear flag. Look, bear flag. You can even see it. I set it up. Bear. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this. And I'll make it white. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend. Pink. Sorry, I know white offends in 2026. We'll do hot pink. That seems to be the in style. So look for the hot pink in this picture in a second. I like pink. I'm man enough to say I can enjoy a little bit of pink. Actually, you know what? That might have come across very dirty. Forget what I just said. I guess that could be offensive in today's day and age too, depending on how you're thinking about that. It's kind of funny. Which also explains the problem of today's day. Anyhow. No, not way down here. That's not the flag. That's in the... Okay. Let's get that out of here. Make it look like a real... See? So now if you're hanging this, like this, look at that. So now I got that here. What about this? That's not bad, right? Bullish. That's nice and bullish. The problem is it's inverted. If I showed you this, would you say, oh my God, we're about to break out? Oh, I guess, oh, triple X something X, triple X hot, XRP, XLM, XDC, H-bar, algo. And then I'll go back to this chart. So smoke on mimosa. Don't give up the shit. Laugh my ass. See, some people heard it. Mrs. Stoddard. A few of you heard it right off the bat. Nothing gets past this audience. What's going on with the Fed chair? Walsh is missing. Hasn't said anything and was in the e-files. Judy is on TV on call sheet. She's at 2%, but at the bottom of the list, even though she has the highest volume. I don't know. I don't know. We might have to dig into that. But that's the bear flag that's set up. So if it breaks up out of there, or breaks down, first level is going to go around $1.41. If you measure that whole fucking, oh, sorry, that whole pole, this is a family-friendly show after all. I know it sounds like it. Then you're talking about 134. So technically you're talking about $1.30 or $1.41 and then $1.34. $1.34 makes a lot of sense. Do you know what that target is? That would be the back test of the initial breakout into the bull market after we broke out of the 7-year pattern. We formed that cup and handle at $1.34. Does everybody remember that? Then the charts don't lie. What was that, my cat? Oh, there's my cat. You want to come inside? I didn't even want you to go outside to begin with. Come here. You see my kitty? Where's she at? There she is. Come on, goes. Yeah, I told you not to go out there. It was cold. Oh, not as cold. Ooh, I see a squirrel. I had to feed Walter. Sorry about that, but my cat, my cat, it needed to come in. Too bad you can't see behind me like that, but it changes it after I come back. Yeah, Julie, what kind of cat is it again?
A Norwegian forest.
Yeah, it's a Norwegian forest cat. So it's definitely, those cats like to go into very, very cold climates.
It's like the husky of the cat.
Yeah, she's like the husky of the cat. I did not know that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, remember it fell on the floor and I tossed it back on the bed. You want to take a match? Yeah, that's what I meant. What else? Tom, what are the charts XDC could reach on the downside? That's an excellent question. Let's see. So right now, XRP's at that critical level. Like, it's legitimately at the level of, it's going to be past the point of no return. And what is interesting is, even algo, which was up 2.5%, we talked about, like, don't get into that until you get confirmation because it was up at the resistance. Now that's already put in a 3% turnaround, which is, I mean, look how fast this happened. Ethereum was up on the day. Now it's down 4.8%. Bitcoin got up for a minute. Now it's down 3.5 all of a sudden. XRP was up. Now it's down 4%. Or 3%, I mean. It's almost, unless these are calculated, but when you look at it, what gave us the first problem here is, yeah, we want to talk positive of the XRP or of XDC where it's at, but it very clearly put in a head and shoulders here. I mean, it hasn't dropped down yet, but I showed it in the live. Somebody brought it up too. I mean, that's very clearly a head and, if I put it like this, would you say, oh my God, look at that inverse head and shoulders, that right? That looks good. The problem is this is the pattern right now. It's not as good. And my phone's inverted because it's inverted, on the screen. Wait a minute. Huh. Next level thinking. Hold on. Let me see something. Ha. Use firepower with firepower. I inverted it. There you go. I inverted it on my screen. Doesn't that make more sense? So because it was a photo, I inverted it. So I screenshot it and just inverted it. So there you go. Doesn't that look kind of like a head and shoulders? Oh, speaking of which, now I can actually show you the bear flag on XRP if it plays out. Ooh, we're right at the bottom of the $1.56 as well. Remember the big pattern. Dun, dun, dun. That's the descending triangle. The descending triangle. Don't forget this. Because the technical target out of that descending triangle, if it breaks down, is 86 cents, where we're at right now in real time. And then it's okay, folks. We don't have to get too excited yet because you have a support in between two of them, as we've just discussed, that will have to get passed. We have $1.40 and $1.34. Well, I'm going to say $1.41. Just because if it goes farther, so be it. But we said 141 earlier, and that's what I'm sticking to. $1.41.41 apparently. And the bear flag, which I believe brought us to $1.34. So let me set this back up. So I want everybody to just kind of see how this is going to look. And then we'll bring this down where it fell through. Let's see what this actually says. I mean, that's pretty darn close. 134.66. I'll take it. I'm going to put a dot down here. I'm going to invert it so I can show you. I don't want you guys to have to sit through all the nonsense. After all, we're not even looking at the charts, right? We're not even looking at the charts. Let's get rid of that. You didn't see anything. Can't even see. I don't have my phone in my hand. I'm not doing nothing. You might be able to hear it. Let's see. Edit. Invert. Oh shoot, I don't need to take a picture of the inversion. Just save it, dummy. And then invert. Now you're gonna be able to see this. I can explain it and then you can see it. Look at us outsmarting the system. So with the one we were talking about, obviously XDC, now that it's inverted, you can see it. The descending triangle, see how the top, you have that downtrending line right here, coming down, the yellow line, that's the downtrending resistance, that formed the descending triangle, which could have been in something much more bullish, but now it doesn't look so much. So now it's breaking down, it looks like. If we come down past $1.56, and that would bring you all the way down into that 81 cent area, technically it says. 86.8 cents or whatever, I think it actually says. And then, right now we're in that bear flag. So the first target would be out of the bear flag would just be the pennant that formed, which is just the actual, this. So if you want to call it a bearish pennant, that's just this stupid thing. Whoops, where the hell am I at? Right here. Shit. Right here. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, this thing. This is the pennant right there. So just the consolidation. Hey, that's the easier way of saying it. We're consolidated is the pennant. How about that? Where the hell's my picture? Yeah, we're consolidated. We're consolidated as the pennant. The first drop would be the base or the space within the pennant from the widest of the parts of it meeting, which is the farthest part where it first hits support resistance. That gets you to about $1.41. And then if it takes the whole flag, I mean, you could talk about $1.34. It could even talk farther because of obviously the 81 cent target or 86 cent or whatever. So there's a lot of things to look at here that could possibly go wrong. So when people are like, well, why are you telling us not to invest it? And, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm just saying I don't want you to end up sitting there going, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I want you to sit there and go, wow. Where I'm at right now, I can live with, and the veracity that could happen of this kind of a bounce up would be tremendous. Oh, did somebody send something I missed? What a shame. Honestly, I'm not smoking anything right now. What could be happening is I haven't ate since 9 o'clock last night. I'm hangry. Oh, but if it was something I was relaxing with, I have a sherbet strand, which is really nice. Joseph Euler, thanks for the high five, my friend. Appreciate that. See, you can send something to me and I can interact with you guys too. I like that. I can't do that during the lives. Stella, hello, said hi. Welcome in. I see a few people in here. I know there's a lot of comments. Let's see. Yeah, it's an incense. Incense. It's kind of like the, you know, the voodoo. The good voodoo. Tom is actually David Schwartz's son. I can't confirm nor deny that, but I will say the hair in our family runs similar, so you can make a decision for yourself. If I was David Schwartz's son, wouldn't I have, I mean, if I was, I guess I would look like this. You know, I guess this would be me. Right? I guess that would be me. You know? Obviously the one part's like stuff, but wouldn't this be me? I guess. Singe my hair over here somewhere. I think right here. Right in this area. So long it doesn't even matter. But isn't the resemblance crazy? I think it actually is. We got a crazy resemblance. I think somehow, some way, that this is David Schwartz. You know? I think he has more influence than I thought. But it is. The only problem is like, well, I guess in the years I could add on some weight and then maybe my hairline will pull back more. Yeah, Schwartz does look a lot more greasy, but, you know. He's been through that life. He's just been through that life. You know, before I was in my 40s, like I haven't cut my hair in my 40s, but before I turned, the last time I got my hair cut was after I broke those bones when I got cut off by that car and they flipped me off my electric bike thing. And yeah, you guys all remember if you're in the audience. But that's where I got this, the permanent scar on my face. FYI, if you ever wonder where that came from. This came from burns last year. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. David, you are the it's so funny though. Especially when I grew my hair, I'm like, oh man, I'm never gonna be able to. I can't even debunk this now. Look at, I look more. The longer my hair gets, the more I look like him, which is kind of weird when you think about it. Do you think algo can go to $1? In the right environment, I've always thought that, but the one thing that can get me to change my mind on some of these is if for whatever reason we fell out and now we're talking about those levels where XRP actually goes down and fills the all-time gap at like 2 and 4 cents and stuff like that. You know, if we end up flipping zeros and stuff, it's gonna make it a little bit different proposition here. It really would. But I'm gonna go eat, everybody. I think I'm gonna go eat. We did an hour and something minute live, and now it's been almost 35 minutes. I know the resemblance is crazy. It's crazy. They could say I was cut out for this job, huh? Is there something I'm not being told by my parents? I'm gonna be like, Dad, what's going on here? I look more like this guy. I guess I was bred for this role after all. Who knew? The problem is I'm not rolling in the bread of David Schwartz. That's kind of not fair. After all, if, you know, we have this kind of a resemblance, why isn't my pocketbook resembling his? No. That'll come. That's building. But I appreciate it, everybody. I do. You should tell him you don't want the child support just the insights. I know. For real. I don't need the back pay, Dad. We should make a meme about that one day. I wonder what that would represent. But anyhow, I gotta go. I'm gonna go eat. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. My nose is running, and I don't want you to have to see me keep wiping it. So it's not running that bad, but it is a little bit from the temperatures. But yeah, one last thing on the way out. We have, and the other thing is with the metals. We know with the metals, they're up, but they are potentially building those right shoulders with gold, silver, and a lot of the mining stocks. So just be cautious there, because if It was up like 12%. That 12% in silver is going to go down to 5 and 4 before you can even blink. And then if it's a shoulder, it's going to end up going down under 77. And then it's going to end up coming down to that 66 level I was talking about forever on the way up. And then possibly backtesting that $50, $53 area where we used to get rejected, you know, over the decades. And then all of a sudden we finally broke out. So that's a good way to end it. We'll keep watching this market. Let's see, silver loaded 8.2% still up. So it's still over $85, but it's starting to trend back down a little bit. The only question I had was whether or not it would have enough steam to get up to $93 approximately, but it looks like it's getting cut off short here, which would make sense too, because if it's back testing the initial drop down and then when it broke out to the head, technically, I mean, it could come up higher, but that first consolidation that led to the second hump where it could have been a head and shoulders initially, where it actually broke out and it was one big shoulder. It's got the layering of a topping pattern, so just something that I'm paying attention to right now. Because I really do think that a lot of people are looking at this as, okay, it's the can't miss bounce back, and I just kind of think this could just be the next step down. So, but eventually I'm going to get back in these miners. If they do end up, but they got to play down the way I want. Otherwise, they're off the board, and I'll never look at them until they go back to the reasonable levels. I had to do it for 3.5 years last time. I'm patient, very patient. So anyhow, be blessed, and hopefully we can do this again soon. I really, really, really appreciate it. You guys, yeah, you can see the birds right behind me, and the squirrels are eating. You'll be able to see once I get out of the screen. See, they're all friends. I got a nice ecosystem here of all the animals. I don't know what my neighbors think, but I don't really care. See all of them? I even got another spot in the front yard that you can't see with more. If I go like that, yeah, see all of them? There you go. Those are the 3 spots that I create in my yard. And then there's one on the other side. But I create those areas for them. I should put a camera up there and just have people watch the wildlife. I think people would watch it. If I put up a live feed, I think people would watch it. If I created a new channel. I'm dead serious. I think they would. I've thought about it for years, just putting up like a 24/7 camera right here and just have it play so you can see the wildlife. There's so much of it, especially at nighttime too, the random animals that come in. Hell, I could even do it on this channel and just have a live feed going of the animals. But it might have to be on its own. Might have to be on its own channel. I don't know. A lot of people like it. I like it. It's refreshing when you see all the animals, especially like you guys are in different countries, some of you, and you don't even have snow, some of you. So to see the animals, they're not the same as what you see. Then we got this guy hiding out over here that you can't even see. I love this guy. He's right there. That's Walter. There he goes. But if it was outside, you'd be able to see the whole thing. I think there's birds over. Nope, they all left. But yeah, that's what I do. Unfortunately, I have this big ass window it's not even appropriate for my house because this house is only 1,200 square feet. So, but I love the window. It's expensive as hell when I had to replace it last year. Now here comes one. Oh, he wants peanuts. Hey, they attacked him. Did you see that? Look at that. He just got attacked. That should be a clip. I'm going to have to clip that. See, that's why we need to have a 24/7. Look at the veracity there. They just attacked each other. Those sons of bitches. Hey, be nice to each other, Walter. There's plenty of peanuts. We're not going to fight each other. Jackass. Hey, buddy. And then you guys couldn't even see the ones that come right up to my front door. That's the irony. You couldn't even see the ones that are at my front door. There's 2 that came up to my front door like with their hands out. And then the Blue Jays come in. Here's one. He's going to come in and take some of the peanuts. You'll see the squirrels. It's a never-ending war. You got the Blue Jays that come in and they steal the peanuts. So then you get the squirrels trying to dig all the squirrels all the peanuts underground. Here he is. Here's the Blue Jay. And we have we have a cardinal, the male and female, the yellow female and the red cardinal, the male that comes here every day now. I have the little bird houses. I don't know if you can see them out there. Where's that at? See birdhouses? A little cold right now. But yeah, it's a whole environment out here. It's a whole environment out here. Is there even anybody still? I guess there are people still watching. Does it say? Let's see. Oh, I have to hit this button, I suppose. Can't even tell what's at 40 people or something. I don't know. Let's see what it says. But yeah, that's what I do. We just watch them. I don't need. This is like me up north. I created my own environment over here. That's see Walter right there. All for the record, just so you know, all the brown ones are Walter. This makes it easier. All the black ones are Lamar. All the red and brown ones or whatever are Sandy. I mean Ruby. And then there's some others sometimes, but yeah, when the cars come, they all leave. All prophets have long hair. That's true. Seems to be that way. Does seem to be that way. I bet if you shut down your live like this, you'd be surprised to see how many people just stay on. I know, I was thinking about that too. But that's what I was saying, like just have a little, you could have something just going. I've thought about that for years, just have it running in the background. And having a camera just like this. I have one that I can put on the window. It's not like I have to go out and buy it. I have it right there. But I could even just, my stuff can just stay on. It's so easy. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that. But it does do such a disservice that it discolors the live when I'm sitting in front of it. Like if I put my hand, it might change it. No. But it is cool out there. Because you can just see everything. There's a squirrel right here by the house. I have one in the tree right now. I have one in this tree right here. I forgot though, you're not going to be able to stay on it 24/7 though. I have to have some, well, I guess if I bought a different setup. Oh, here's my cat getting jealous. What you doing, Ghost? Have to have it to where you can see her too. Sometimes she forgets she's inside and she runs into the window. Yeah, the squirrel feels safe. I mean, it's like right in front of her right now. Let's see if we can get the other one right there. There we go. We can even do close-ups. Here we go. After all, you know, I'm a perfectionist. I think of things. If I had it, you know, I could even do this. Hey, and we gotta pull this back. Whoops. Now you're seasick. But what I would do is I wouldn't have it like this. I'd have it on horizontal, but it's not going to look good right now because it's a vertical. I would put it to horizontal probably so you could see more. There's the birdies. Oh, we can't see Walter. Sorry, Walter. You want to be famous. But yeah, I'm going to have to close this, but it's fun sometimes to show the animals. It's fun sometimes. But I'll try to figure out a way to do this. Hey, Walter. I like to have it by Walter because you can see him right up close. I'll end it with Walter. There's always a lot of action right there, too, with them. He's giving me the side eye. But thank you guys so much. Be blessed. It's been a lot of fun.